What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Geekiverse YouTube channel. We just saw the Microsoft briefing at E3 2019. I'm Josiah Leroy. With me today, Jeff Pavlak, co-host of G3, and also a newcomer to the microphone, John Fick.
Yeah,
welcome,
time.
John.
Thank you, sir.
So John is a games editor here at the Geekiverse, but we're going to get right into it here. First thoughts and reactions. What went well? What didn't go well for Microsoft today? Whoever wants to start.
I feel like, I told you this before, but I feel like it was their conference to lose.
Yes.
With Sony not being here this year, and I feel like they may have done that. I feel like they set the stage. They were the only big dog in town. All the third parties, if they didn't have their own conference, they had to come to Microsoft. They had a real big shot to wow us, and I don't feel like I came away from that conference wowed.
No, I feel like it was a good conference.
Good.
But
Good's
it needed
a good
to be
word for it.
it needed to be out of the park good.
This wasn't the year for good.
No.
Yeah.
I feel very whelmed.
It was whelmed, overwhelmed.
Classic.
Yeah.
Just whelmed.
No, I
Very
agree.
medium whelmed, as Seth would say.
Yeah.
Good, but they didn't capitalize
Exactly.
on a enormous opportunity for them here.
So we got the official confirmation on Project Scarlet. We got a little bit of Halo Infinite, which I enjoyed. I wasn't so hung up on no gameplay. And then obviously we got our fair share of Gears 5.
Yeah.
I think the biggest moment for all three of us was the Cyberpunk 2077 reveal with one Keanu Reeves.
Absolutely.
What was Johnny?
Johnny Silver. something?
Johnny
Silverhands?
Silverhands, yeah.
Johnny Silverhands. What a.
So Keanu is the hottest name in Hollywood.
He really
right?
is right
No
now.
doubt. No doubt.
Like he's reached this perfect zone where he's popular all over the place.
He's kind of like a mythical figure at this point. I
He
feel.
kind of is, yeah. Like he's John Wick. He's popping up as DLC in video games. Now he's a main character in a video game, or one of the main characters, we should say.
Yeah.
I think Cyberpunk, that was good. I like that release window.
For sure.
Or release date, I
I
should
thought it was
say.
a great trailer too. Like I rewatched it right before this, and even just the trailer was great without Mr. John Wick himself. It was just I'm so hyped for that game.
Yeah, it's a stunning game to say the least. Cyberpunk.
I mean, I'll play anything that CD Projekt Red puts out.
True.
I am liking everything we've seen of this game so far. I feel like last year we saw more like substance, more of like the inner workings of the game, whereas this was kind of getting us ready for the cinematic and world building approach to it, and then just the bombshell surprise that is John Wick.
Killer.
Keanu doing the motion capture and voice acting for this character.
Should they have left off with that?
And
So
you mean
started off
ended
with
the
that?
ended the
whole
conference?
I think the fact that we knew we were going to see Halo Infinite, they couldn't end with a third party.
Yeah.
They couldn't end with a third party.
Especially
this year.
seeing that we were going to see Project Scarlet
Yeah.
finally officially confirmed by Microsoft.
Yeah.
So we didn't get too much into what is going to be the next Xbox.
Sure.
We got, it kind of called to mind the presentation for the Xbox One X
Absolutely.
back in the day. And less numbers this time.
Yeah.
However, they did note it was going to be 4 times more powerful than the One X.
Yep.
So we don't know a ton about it. We don't know about really the cloud gaming service from Microsoft.
xCloud.
At this point, I feel like we didn't learn much that we didn't already know, except for we got the 2020 holiday window.
Sure. I feel like if this is all they had to give us, they should have just saved it for a separate event. I really feel like we don't. I mean, so this is the first time that we heard about Scarlet officially, but all of the information that we got today, we've already known just based on like documents and leaks and rumors and stuff like that. I don't know if Scarlet is the next gen Xbox or if it's just another One X right now. I feel like I
Don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I know it's more powerful. Awesome. I'm excited. If it's another One X, awesome. But the phrasing that Halo Infinite launches with Project Scarlet makes it kind of seem like it might be the next Xbox, and there's no kind of bridge. But I don't know. I don't know what it is.
The impression I got was it was a console, just because Phil mentioned how it was kind of based out of the console on the server in your home.
Sure.
So not.
Yeah, but that was xCloud though. I don't think that had to do with Scarlet because that's going to work with your current One X.
Yeah, that's right.
That's so Project xCloud. You're going to be able to use your home Xbox as a server to be able to stream to your mobile devices. Basically, I think that's kind of like PS4 remote play almost, where you have the game locally rather than streaming from their server. You're just streaming from your local machine. Just a better connection than a server stream. So yeah, I don't know.
Big disappointment for me today not seeing Nintendo Xbox crossover.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Think we're seeing it Tuesday?
I hope so.
If it's going to happen, it's going to happen during that Nintendo Direct.
I think that would change maybe the perception of some of this. I think if you score this conference right now, I'm thinking in my head, in any other year, it's probably a B. It's a
Okay.
good conference, nothing groundbreaking. Like, nothing was announced today that was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that.
Sure.
We pretty much knew everything that was coming, even the leak for the George R. Martin game from Software. I nothing blew my mind, I guess. However, in a year where they were probably supposed to take it home and say, Sony's not here, we're going to get out in front of the PS5,
Yeah.
we're going to get out in front of any sort of exclusive they may have had, it was a little bit of a letdown. So maybe I dropped that to a C.
It's kind of like
Okay.
it's kind of like if a blockbuster grosses $400 million at the box office when it easily could have made $800 million.
Sure.
It's like, yeah, $400 million, that's a good number, but you easily could have had a lot more than that. I agree. This is probably like a B, and it was a good conference, but they very easily could have had an A or an A plus kind of.
The problem is they should have been head and shoulders above.
Yeah.
I think expectation-wise, what we were looking for.
My prediction was that they were going to throw everything at the wall and see what sucked. They were just going to bombard us with games, new announcements, and we didn't quite get a tidal wave like I was expecting.
So we get a decent portion from the new first-party studios for Xbox, for Xbox Game Studios. They announced 6 or 7 last year acquisitions. But we started off the conference with The Outer Worlds, which I thought looks like a good game.
I'm excited for that.
And I'm happy that that's got a steady release date, and soon. It's coming out in October. We're getting some Fallout vibes from that one.
Oh yeah, it's Obsidian. They did Fallout New Vegas. I'm super excited at the fact that Microsoft acquired Obsidian. That's going to be part of Game Pass now. So that's an awesome $60 game that's just in your library if you have Game Pass. That's
We
huge.
should jump to the Ultimate Game Pass here. So you get you get Xbox Live Gold, you get Games Pass, and then the PC Game Pass, which was also announced.
That was announced already, but it's confirmed to be out today.
Okay,
So that was previously announced, but the big news was it's part of the same subscription and it's available today.
$14.99
Crazy.
for all three.
$1 right now.
That's true. If you don't have any of them, it's $1.
It's $1 right now for an E3 deal. Not even if you don't have any. Just for anybody, you can add a month for $1.
Well,
Yeah.
hold that thought. That's where I'm going right now.
Yeah.
So the Games Pass or Game Pass, I've subscribed to for about a half a year now. I love it. I love the fact that you get these first-party studios, all their releases day one.
That's huge.
And now it's way bigger, in my opinion, because they're up to 13 first-party studios, I believe they said. And saying that right there, those are 13 probably pretty high-quality releases that you're going to get day one simply for having this pass. So if you think about it, if you buy just a few of those games throughout the year, really the Game Pass is paid for itself if you have that Ultimate Game Pass over the course of, if you average it out over the months.
I mean, if you think about it, Xbox Live was $10 a month anyways.
Right.
I mean, so if you're an Xbox player, you're going to have Xbox Live. So $5
You
more
have
for
to.
Game Pass. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's a hell of a deal.
Yep.
Go take advantage of it, like John said, for $1 right now. We got, I think another big surprise was Ori and the Will of the Wisps not necessarily dropping today, but
being
just
soon.
dropping soon.
Yeah.
You know, maybe like later June or
A summer
July.
game, fall game, something like that.
Even something with a cross play on the Switch or crossover with the Switch. So I think we're all a little bit surprised that that's coming February 11th.
Yeah. It's a longer wait than I think anybody wanted. It'll definitely be worth the wait, but I think at worst you were kind of expecting maybe a holiday 2019 release.
Yeah.
Instead, we're not seeing this till early next year.
When was that announced? Was that 2 years ago we saw Ori
I
2?
believe
Yes, for
so.
sure.
It definitely
It was
wasn't
2
last year.
it was
yeah,
2
so
E3s ago.
I think it was 2 E3s ago.
A little bit disappointing. I'm sure it'll be worth the wait because Ori and the Blind Forest is a wonderful game.
Incredible.
Very hard game, as I'm finding out, because I'm playing through it right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we had to wait on that. And another kind of surprise for the show, and it's something we know almost nothing about, the Blair Witch game.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know publisher, or we don't know developer, we don't know release window. Kind of weird.
We know a release date, actually.
Do we really?
Yeah, so I think it's like August 20th I saw. So
How do we not know who's...
So there was nothing about the release. There was nothing about the developer, publisher, anything like that. But all I saw on Twitter from Wario64, awesome follow if you don't follow Wario64, is that it's coming August 20th, and it's going to be on Game Pass. So we have that information, but not who's making it apparently.
So we imagine this is probably a smaller title.
Yeah.
I didn't know. It's a weird one to me.
Yeah, I wasn't really sure what to make of that.
Yeah.
It's not the IP I expect to get adapted into
Yeah,
a
exactly.
game, and to be shown at E3 no less.
I would say seeing that trailer, it wasn't the IP I expected to see there. I thought that was just going to be like a new IP survival horror game. It looked cool. I'm all in. I love survival horror games. I have no attachment to the Blair Witch franchise, so whatever there. But
Yeah.
survival horror, all about it.
That was interesting. That was definitely the biggest surprise for me.
Yep.
Let's see. Battletoads, we got another trailer for. We got the Game Pass information right in the middle there.
August 30th for Xbox One and PC for the Blair Witch. Not 20th, August 30th.
Okay.
Still don't see a developer, though.
Another big bit of information, Double Fine joining the stable of first-party studios. That is big. Psychonauts 2 in development. Double Fine is a very well-respected name, and that's a big get for Microsoft.
For sure.
They just keep scooping up these, not smallish, but not quite the gigantic third-party developers.
Yeah.
And they're slowly amassing this fantastic second, first-party, whatever you want to call them, studio collection that's going to be developing exclusively for them now. Psychonauts is a beloved little franchise.
Yeah, Psychonauts too. People are really fiending for that game. Never been a fan. Never been into it, but that's a huge game.
The a big one for me. So we got 2 bits of Star Wars here. I didn't expect another trailer for Jedi Fallen Order. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we got to see. It seems like the introduction of Saw Gerrera to Kale.
Yep.
Also, an AT-AT in water was really, really neat.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then we got what was rumored Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. So we're going to get all 9 episodic films. The mics aren't going to pick him up. It's just funny.
Dog barking.
Dog
for those
barking.
watching and wondering what we're
It may
distracted
pick
by.
it up. It's going to pick up all 9 episodes. So this is coming out probably early 2020. I believe Lego The Force Awakens came out in it was April or May, the year after Force Awakens came out. So to me, that's a big deal. We're not getting, it looks like Solo or Rogue One is what it is at this point. But I've always loved those Lego Star Wars games.
Cool.
12 Minutes was a smaller title that looked really interesting to me.
Yeah. I like that concept there, where like this guy just repeats these 12 minutes and has to figure out what happened. It's pretty cool.
That sounds like a probably a difficult game, but something that you almost, it's one of those games where you fail over and over again and you get into a rhythm and then you kind of find your way, I would imagine, just from the trailer we saw. The Xbox Elite Controller Series 2.
Yeah.
So I don't need this. This is not something for me, but we're hearing a price tag of $180.
Yeah, it's up there. I have the first Elite controller. I was in the market for like a Scuf gaming controller or something like that. Did a little more back when that thing first came out. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'll shell out the money for like an official first-party controller. And then they revamped their controllers, added Bluetooth, a couple of different features, and didn't add that to the Elite. So people have been wanting this for a while, but 180 is expensive.
It's a lot of money for a control.
Especially possibly at the end of a life cycle of a generation.
Oh, yeah, I never thought of that.
I was giving Nintendo crap for the Pro controller, and that's nothing.
For sure.
You could get a couple Pro controllers with that money.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
Another thing, people who really want this Gen 2, the big ask was that it would be compatible with Design Lab. So you'd be able to make your own custom, Elite controller just like you can with the regular one. Still none of that here, but it's cool. There's a lot of new features. You can fine-tune the resistance on the thumbsticks, which you couldn't do the first time. Pretty cool. There's 3 profiles instead of 2, I believe. And there's one other feature that was relatively big that I'm missing, but cool for people who want it.
I'm into it. I can't, for that price tag, justify it with the way I game nowadays.
Yeah, it's for a very specific audience.
Yeah,
Sure.
It's definitely not for everybody who owns an Xbox. It's for a very
competitive gaming,
Oh, yeah.
esports.
That's what it's there
you
for.
play fighters or shooters competitively.
It's good. More options are usually good when it comes to that stuff.
For sure.
Another surprise one was the Lego Forza Horizon 4 expansion.
yeah.
I love Lego. I loved Forza Horizon 4. That was phenomenal.
Same.
That'll be a fun little.
Bigger surprise is that there's no brand new Forza.
Yeah, it'll
announced
hit
at
us
this
after the
E3.
conference. No new
Forza.
Forza. First time in about a decade, I would say.
No Forza 8, no Forza Horizon 5, just,
Maybe they're waiting for the next gen here.
maybe.
Dying Light 2 got a little bit more of a story trailer this time around. Did we get a release? No release date, but a window, I believe.
I was like neck deep in something else when I need to rewatch that Dying Light.
Hold up, I
Same.
can find that.
Yeah.
There's a release window. It wasn't a specific date.
No.
Let's
Just
grab that.
maybe spring?
Yeah, spring 2020.
Hi.
So
I'm all about that game.
2020 is already getting pretty loaded with releases,
Yeah,
it seems
we're
like.
gonna have to throw together a sheet here of
Especially
all the
that
release
spring
windows.
window.
I do get worried that a lot of these studios just need to show something for E3 and they just toss that 2020 on there. And how many of these are going to slip to 2021?
Right.
Who knows?
Oh,
But
for sure.
It happens.
We got some State of Decay 2 DLC there.
Heartland DLC, they called it.
We got a little bit more on Gears Pop, which I think is very charming and looks like a fun little title.
Yeah, it's a mobile game. I think did they say it was free to play? I don't know, but
They did not. Well, they didn't specify.
nothing price wise. But yeah, that's a fun little Gears mobile game. I'm down.
Is that the first video game based on the Pop figures?
To
Like
my
the pop
knowledge,
line?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, the most well-known, easily,
Okay.
based on an IP at least.
Right.
Sure.
I'm imagining that's going to become like Lego at some point.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
the same thing. Like that's got to be the first of many, especially if this takes off.
Sure.
The other thing, so this had leaked, but as we mentioned from George R. Martin and from Software, Elden Ring.
Oh yeah.
Trailer was okay.
Yeah, it was. Again, we talked about this, but if we didn't know that this was a possibility, that would have been such a huge moment.
Yeah.
We see From Software and George R. R. Martin, those two names together. That would have been a huge moment for this conference. But we knew it was coming, so it wasn't as much. And the fact that the trailer was just interesting.
It's okay.
Yeah, with how vague it was, losing the spontaneity of it really hurt its impact, I feel
Big
like.
time.
For sure.
Leaks have kind of sucked this year more than
Absolutely.
they have in recent times, which is
And I
weird.
try to avoid them, but it's tough, man.
It's really hard, especially in what we do. We're always on social media. We're looking at everything new in gaming because we want to be up on stuff for the Geekiverse, and it's hard to avoid all of that. So wrapping up here, last minute or so, final thoughts on Microsoft's E3 and what we can look forward to for Project Scarlet / Halo.
So coming out of it, I feel like I was a little bit more down on it than I actually am. I just re-looking at this list and talking about it a little bit more. It was a good conference. There was some good stuff there.
It's all about games.
Exactly.
Phil emphasized that for Project Scarlet, which is a total 180 from the promotion of
Yeah.
the Xbox One.
Original Xbox One. We got this kind of tone from the Project Scorpio. So they've been on this train for a while. So it's good to see them staying there.
I think next gen still looks really bright for Microsoft, especially as they continue to acquire these studios, and really launch, or I guess reinforce the value of that Game Pass. Pavlak, final thoughts on the E3 for
Yeah,
Microsoft?
I'll probably just reiterate what I said earlier. Good conference, plenty of great games in there, but the opportunity was there for Microsoft to absolutely knock this one out of the park, and they kind of got a double.
We
instead
needed,
of
yeah.
instead of a home run.
Disappointing.
I'll take
It's
it.
disappointing.
Yeah.
Went off the wall there. We were looking for a little bit more there. I'm in the same boat. I'm a big Xbox fan. However, I think I wanted more of what we saw. No one's ever going to top Sony 2016, or maybe even Sony for the conference where they announced the PS4. So good for Microsoft to get out in front of the official announcement for the PS5. I thought that was good.
Yep.
They can kind of set the tone here, and they really didn't set any deadlines. So kudos to them. But we've got Bethesda tonight. So tune in to youtube.com/thegeekiverse for all the latest on E3. For John, for Jeff, I'm Josiah. We'll see you soon.